Thousands of monarchs ruled over Motherworld, the Empire's main planet, until its resources ran out. Subsequently, the soldiers ventured into space, subjugating every planet they encountered. But the king and queen were assassinated by treachery, which made some of the conquered planets consider revolt. Seizing the chance, Senator Belisarius assumed authority to track down and destroy the rebels. He dispatched punitive teams led by Admiral Atticus Noble, an android. Meanwhile, Farmer Nile makes his way to Korra's field on the far-off planet Velt. It's twilight, and to celebrate a hunter's successful kill of a snow moose, the locals had come together for dinner. After finishing her task, the girl sits at the community table. The hunter looks at the girl, hoping she will feel the same way about him, as the people around him are having a good time. Gunnar is also liked by Korra, however the beauty acts indifferently. She goes back to the home she lives with an old farmer in the evening, who thinks of her as his daughter after having discovered her among the remains of a spaceship. The elderly man wants her to get married, start a family, and integrate fully into the community, but Korra believes that as a child of war, she isn't deserving of such pleasure. The following day, Korra races to alert the villagers after spotting a massive spacecraft in the sky above them. Because one of them, Gunnar, has been selling extra harvests to the rebels, the villagers are afraid of the Imperials. The village chief agrees to meet the unexpected visitors and find out what they want, even though he knows that if the military discovers out, things would go ugly. While hunting a bunch of rebels, Admiral Atticus and his soldiers land and demand to buy grain in order to replenish their food supplies. Atticus murders the man in front of the entire hamlet when he tries to trick the admiral into believing they don't have any additional grains. Then he gives Gunnar the command to gather the entire harvest on his behalf. 12 of Atticus' men remain in the village when he departs in 9 weeks. The largest stone house's occupants are ordered to leave by the sergeant initially. The soldiers start to unload their belongings. As it happens, the final member of the dead king's mechanical night race is found inside one of the crates. He is greeted by Jimmy, the private heiress robot, who requests assistance in carrying the luggage. While all of this is going on, one of the soldiers spots little Sam, a country girl, but he only says something complimentary because Jimmy is a rare find. Following the king's demise, the Iron Knights ceased their combat. A soldier fires at the robot to demonstrate this point, demonstrating how it accepts unjust punishment in silence. Ares nearly becomes a victim while defending the robot. However, the sergeant puts an end to this and dispatches robot Jimmy to the river to clean up the dirt. Sam locates him there. She sits next to the robot, showing sympathy for him. The robot tells her that Princess Isa, the king's daughter, possessed the uncommon ability to both heal and revive. Unfortunately, the girl and her family were slain during her coronation, despite the hopes of the king's subjects that she would bring about a new age of mercy in the cosmos. At that point, the Iron Knights gave up fighting. Sam gives him a flower wreath and reassures him that it is still he who is compassionate. The villagers determine what to do next in the interim. Many point the finger at Gunnar, and he defends himself by pointing out that they are farmers. Killing them would leave no one to feed them, which is not in the troops' best interests. Upon hearing this exchange, Korra immediately returns home and begins preparing to depart. The daughter knows the ways of the Empire too well, even when her adoptive father attempts to talk her out of it by suggesting they can still fight. With the intention of having fun with the girl, the soldiers see Sam and drag her to the shared dwelling. The only young soldier who defends her is Ares, and his fellow soldiers swiftly punish him for it. Korra dashes into the home upon realizing this. When the soldiers see her, they determine that they will have 2 beauties tonight despite her request for them to stop. Acknowledging that a peaceful resolution is out of the question, Korra launches a combative maneuver, eliminating every soldier but Eris, who takes her side. However, the sergeant is able to see Sam and orders Korra to put down her weapons. Jimmy walks in, and the robot looks about, grabs a gun, and shoots the sergeant, releasing the girl. The new villagers realize that fighting the Empire is their last remaining option. Korra leaves the following day in search of General Titus, who has gathered his soldiers to confront the assassins of the king. Asking Gunnar to show her the man he used to sell grain to the rebels, she expresses her hope for his assistance. She is accompanied by the farmer. When they pause for a rest during the night, Korra informs Gunnar that Motherworld warriors have previously invaded her planet and massacred its people. Commanding the executioners himself, Balisarius spared 9-year-old Korra and took her aboard his ship, where she grew up to become a warrior of Motherworld's finest troops. The senator was proud of her military accomplishments and thought of her as his daughter. She therefore knows exactly what will happen to the people living on the planet Velt if they choose not to resist. The two soon arrive at a port city. They choose to take a nap in a pub, where one of the patrons spots Gunnar and makes an offer to purchase him from Korra. The brute is not pleased when the woman rejects. He takes out his knife, but Korra uses force to convey her reluctance, forcing him to back down. Subsequently, the woman requests information about General Titus from those in attendance. Only one alien reacts, symbiotically interacting with a captured human to communicate with the outer world. General Titus now makes his income, according to the alien, by competing in Pollux gladiatorial arena. However, the extraterrestrial warns Korra to use caution because Titus is aggressive because he is being pursued. Just then, the man who had upset Korra walks into the pub with two goons. Now that he is sure of his win, he gives the order to kill Korra when she offers them one final chance to get away. As a gunfight breaks out, Korra spots an outsider, a man who is observing the fight with curiosity, and he ends up killing her opponent when she puts him in risk. Later, because he is also sailing to Pollux, Kai offers to put his ship at her disposal. He remains unfazed even after Korra declares her intention to recruit soldiers to oppose the Empire. The spacecraft soon takes off, but before long, Kai says they must make a stop at Frontier, a small planet, because he has business there. After learning that Gunnar has never ventured off the Earth, he shows him the marvels of space. Admiral piloting Atticus discovers that a rebel agent who was seized with information on the resistance troops has been apprehended and charges his body with Motherworld energy. Kai's ship touches down on the border in the interim. Kai planned to give the youngster Tarek, who is confined by the proprietor of the nearby property, to Korra's group. The owner establishes the terms of release. Tarek needs to calm down a furious griffin in the pen. Tarek nods, looking at the thing. He gives the command to release the griffin, and starts speaking to it in a manner reminiscent of King Alexander the Great conversing with his horse, Bucephalus. The griffin listens to him unexpectedly, and the man is able to get onto its back. The griffin lifts off. Tarek nearly dies multiple times, but he survives by jumping back onto the griffin's back, which causes the proud animal to calm down and carry the boy back to the ranch. Korra is overjoyed to have such an ally and is impressed with his skill. Tarek's owner must honor his commitment and give him back. The gifted fencer Nemesis resides on the planet Cobalt Mines Dagus, which is reached by spacecraft. However, she finds out then that a spider-like representative of the practically exterminated indigenous inhabitants of the planet has kidnapped one of the workers' children. After the deaths of her children, she is now exacting retribution on people. She fights back after realizing that Nemesis's attempts to convince her to release the child will not succeed. Korra and her group observe the expert fencer in awe. The Spider-Woman releases the infant for a little moment. Gunnar quickly approaches the girl and removes her. Nemesis defeats the beast in spite of the threat, but she does not celebrate the win because humans are ultimately to blame for all that has happened. As soon as she joins Korra's group, the ship heads toward the planet Pollux. Korra acknowledges that she was Princess Isa's bodyguard. She now feels responsible for the passing of the unique girl who inspired so many people. The crew soon finds themselves on the planet Pollux, where Korra identifies the fabled General Titus as a drunken hobo before they make it to the gladiatorial arena. The general is washed and given new life by the men when they bring him to a bathhouse. He wishes to forget about his past. Korra presented him with an opportunity for retribution as he doomed his warriors. The man is reminded of himself by this. Admiral Atticus, who acknowledges that the resistance forces are stationed on the planet Sharon, is presented with the captured rebel agent in the meantime. Atticus murders the man under King Levitica and gives the command to take off for Sharon. King Levitica himself greets them when Kai's spacecraft lands on Sharon at the same moment. Korra is grateful for his assistance and hospitality. Rebel ships under the command of Dariyang and Devra, siblings, soon arrive. Upon discovering her people's vulnerability to Admiral Atticus's ship, Devra becomes antagonistic, but, after learning of the events on Velt, the rebels agree to Korra's suggestion. Kai then consents to battle with her, but not until he must transport some cargo to a trade post. When they arrive at the trading post, Kai begs for assistance unloading the containers. As the crew unloads them, the containers unexpectedly open and reveal tools for immobilizing individuals. Except for Gunner, every squad member is trapped. Kai, it turns out, is a bounty hunter who had originally planned to betray them in exchange for a payoff. Though every one of them is worth their weight in gold, Korra herself surpasses them all because the entire universe is out looking for her, which makes him delighted about the catch. The Admiral rushes to the pier as Atticus's ship docks at the base. He passes the convicts and pauses next to Gunner, who he did not anticipate seeing among the team, after realizing who Kai had prepared for him. The farmer receives a syringe from Kai, which he uses to give the prisoner a tranquilizer shot in the head and told him to begin with Korra. With the syringe in hand, Gunner walks up to her, apologizes to the girl, and quickly takes off her collar before injecting Kai in the head. Korra takes the soldier's weapon and starts shooting. Gunner frees the others and they join Korra as she gets into the gunfight. Darien is startled to see Admiral Atticus's flagship attacking the rebel vessels. When the rebel commander realizes his people are going to die, he dashes to the pier and enters the ship's cockpit. He leaps atop it, smashing the glass and killing the pilot, but the pilot's bullet kills him too. As the ship loses control and plummets into the chasm, Atticus stays put on the little platform. Korra rushes towards him and issues a challenge to combat. After a bloody struggle, Korra prevails and tosses the Admiral to the ground, where he will almost certainly perish. After some time, the soldiers who made it back to Earth return as a group to Velt, and Atticus is taken care of by Imperial medical personnel and given a second chance at life in Motherworld's artificial womb. It is made clear that Atticus is an android in this sequence. Thereafter, he makes an appearance before Emperor Belisarius to announce his discovery of Korra. In order for the monarch to be able to execute his daughter himself, he demands that the Admiral put an end to the revolt and bring his daughter to him.
The end. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, kindly tell us what movie you would love us to recap for you.